Okay, previously I talked about investing in gold where you might want to buy, for example, from coin stores. Usually they're a lot more reputable than these fly-by-night companies, Cash for Gold, Gold Line International, stuff like that. I talked a little bit about how uh, Cash for Gold, for example, only pays about, or at least they in the past paid as low as 18% of the gold's melt value. So like if you gave them $1,000 worth of gold, they would only send you $180 back. Send them $100 worth of gold, they'd send you $18 back. Uh, and they defended this practice by saying, "Oh well, it's so much more convenient, so much more convenient to just send in your gold in the mail instead of actually getting in your car and driving uh, to a coin store, pawn shop, or something like that. Get a much more fair value." I gave an example about how this is more akin to a company that said, "Yeah, send us $100 bill, and from the convenience of your own home, and we'll be happy to send you $20 back in cash instead of having to actually get in your car and drive to a bank and getting the full $100 for cash that you would exchange." I also talked about Goldline International, a big company, strongly backed by Glenn Beck, one of the few companies that didn't abandon him when he called President Obama a racist. Anyway, even Goldline International's own disclosure forms say that their gold shouldn't necessarily be viewed as investment purposes, and that people who buy gold from them shouldn't necessarily expect to even recoup their cost, much less make a profit. And so, Goldline International and Cash for Gold are companies you probably want to avoid in the future and encourage people you care about to also avoid in the future. That having been said, there are some legitimate reasons why one might want to invest in gold, possibly as a hedge against the dollar. If you have $1 million at the bank, who does these days? But if you do, maybe having 5, even 10% of your money in gold might be sort of a hedge in case there is severe inflation by chance and dollar goes down. Your gold might at least go up. It's a hedge, and that might not actually be such a bad idea. But make sure you do investigation into best companies to buy gold from. Coin stores are good, that kind of thing. What else? Oh yeah, speaking of which, people always talking about gold as sort of the ultimate in case society does collapse. Like I said, it might be good as a hedge against inflation, but if you're really so paranoid about society collapsing, gold isn't really something that you want to be so worried about. It's not really useful for anything. The only reason it's valuable is because it's rare, which is the same with paintings or coffee or sugar or anything else like that. Many of those items actually are useful. So if you're actually concerned that society is about to collapse for whatever reason, you're much better off actually buying things that are useful, not just chunks of metal that have no use at all. Only reason they're valuable is because they're rare. You want to go after things that are useful, baked beans, uh, kerosene, bullets, that kind of thing. Things you could actually use, things you could also exchange if society does somehow start falling apart. So buy gold if you want as a hedge against inflation. In my opinion, $1,500 an ounce or whatever it's at now is it pretty much has peaked out, unless there is gross inflation, which I haven't seen. I don't think that's going to happen. Could happen, but I mean, $1,500 an ounce is pretty expensive, considering that gold was about $300 an ounce only about 10 years ago. So it's gone up 5 times since that, and it's still basically just a worthless thing. Only reason it's rare is because only reason it's valuable is because it's rare. If you're really so paranoid about things collapsing, go buy things that are useful. Bullets, beans, cooking oil, whiskey. Hell, if you're if society did collapse, would you be better off trying to barter with whiskey or going around in some post-apocalyptic society with people who do have a lot of guns and saying, "Hey, I have a bunch of gold," and you wouldn't want to exchange it? You're just gonna get robbed. Buy things that are useful for yourself or things that could actually be traded and valued by other people. So that's it. Hope this helps. Comment if you want, and post a video if you want. That's it.